and good afternoon, everybody. It's Jonathan Harmon with the J. Harmon Home Team, powered by Keller Williams, and this is Table Talk. It is Tuesday, April 4th. Is that right?
Good enough.
Yeah, April 4th, 2023. And did you make it through April Fool's Day?
I did. I actually didn't. I didn't get one April Fool's joke.
I didn't either. I didn't prank anybody because honestly, the real world was
a little down,
a little crazier than normal. So, anyway, so we're here. We're at the To the Moon Creative Studios. I've got my friend Tom Golly back there. Trent is on a hiatus this afternoon. We miss you, Trent.
Yeah.
We'd have the bald squad going on. Tom has a lovely coif of hair over there. So, one of these things is not like the other. Yeah.
Hair's lame.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's a wig.
It's a wig. Well, one of my favorite phrases comes from my grandmother, and she tried to make me feel better one day, and she said, "Jonathan, God made so many perfect heads, and the rest He put hair on."
That's amazing.
You like that, don't you?
Put it on a T-shirt. I'll buy it.
I know it. So we got my friend Jeremy Lee from Boro Business Labs here, and Jeremy is how do I say this?
Male model.
No, of the three guys from BBL,
this is gonna get good.
Jeremy's the fun one.
Yeah. Oh, really?
That's how I look at that.
Take that. I'm looking in the camera at you, Josh and Dean.
That's right. No, so Dean is the serious one.
He is,
and Josh is the one I don't understand yet. Josh is that guy.
I hope they're watching this.
Josh is that guy that I'm like, everybody wants to be his friend because he's a cool guy.
He is,
but he's just a little different.
I mean, in a great way.
In a great way. That's it. So, Josh, I haven't figured you out yet, buddy. I will at some point.
You and Josh need to go hang out.
We do. We've had some awkward moments where it's been like, oh. And I'm like, I never don't know what to say.
That's amazing.
Yeah, no, I love those guys. I love all you guys. You guys have a really good thing going over there. You've got some fantastic other partners there as well, Macy and all of those folks. Yeah. And y'all have grown exponentially.
Yeah.
And you really do. Like y'all are the premier marketing team here in the county.
That means a lot that you say that. Thank you.
Well, a friend of mine, I won't reveal his name, is starting his business. And he said, "Who do you know in marketing?" And he meant like setting up websites and things like that. And I was like, there's only one person you need to call, or one group. So
anyway, thank you.
Handed that off.
That means a lot coming from you, especially. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate all that you do, and all that you do in our community, and all that you do for all the small businesses out there that need some a la carte services. Maybe they only need one thing; they don't need 7. And that's pretty cool. So
we love small businesses, and actually, in the last few months, some of the businesses have been getting hit hard, and our love has been tested. That they'll call us and say, "I need this" or "I need that," and we've just agreed together that we're going to do whatever we need to do to help the businesses get through this season, because we feel like if we do, it'll be a stronger connection on the other side.
100% agree.
It's not an easy time to be a business owner right now.
It's not, and depending on what the industry is, some are significantly harder than others.
Yeah.
But I love the relationship that can exist, between content creation here with STP and To the Moon, and you guys placing that content out there. And I mean, it just, if you call me and you need content and you need a robust, comprehensive marketing plan, I can help facilitate that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So
thank you.
Yes. Well, thank you.
It was a good show.
Look at the time. But real quick, speaking of marketing, my friend Brian Nail over at Premise Mortgage, he is a big underwriter. He supports the Spread the Positive network and movement. And so we always like to give him props during the show.
Yeah.
And so we're going to run his tape. Video. No, not video. Tape. It's not tape anymore. What is it, Tom?
It's a digital recording.
Oh, thank you. That's what I meant.
Get financing a home. And in markets like this, having the advice of a trusted local professional is key to making sure you get the right advice for your specific circumstances. Whether you're interested in the purchase of a new home, second home, or have a need for a refinance, I'd love to earn your trust. If I can help you nail your mortgage, call me at 615-243-3976. or visit nailyourmortgage.com, and I'll be happy to talk with you.
Premise Mortgage is a subsidiary of Premise Bank, a member FDIC, equal housing opportunity. As always, all loans are subject to approval. Premise Mortgage, NMLS number 1894879.
All right. Thank you, Brian, for all you do for us here at Spread the Positive and all you do.
Hey,
here
my name is
in
Brian Nail.
community.
Hey, Brian.
I'm a mortgage on.
Brian's back. Oh, there we go. All right, no worries. So, Jeremy, obviously, I got to know you through the Boro Business Labs and all the cool things you guys do, the Boro Prom and some of the various other things. You guys, when we opened Cedar Glade, you guys gave us like. It was exactly what we needed.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to tell that story?
Oh, for sure.
Okay,
we work
so-
for beer, man.
That's right. So I met you guys to talk about real estate and helping J Harmon Home Team with website and stuff. And it was like, oh, and by the way, we're opening a brewery. This was before Cedar Glade was open. And everybody in your group was like,
Huh?
yeah, exactly. And I said, and you said, well, you're going to need a website and all that. And I said, yeah, we have no money. I said, so would you work for beer? And I didn't get a no, and it was amazing.
We were in your brewery within 5 minutes. We left that coffee shop and we were at your place.
Yeah,
right away.
Sampling some Stones River Stout is what you had.
That's right.
And the next thing you know, we actually have a contract drafted up that consists of you guys getting a certain amount of beer from us in exchange for website management and some reputation management and a few other things like that.
And our clients are so grateful for it because they come to visit and they know that it's always fully available if they choose.
That's right. Well, this month's payment, by the way, is getting canned tomorrow.
Nice,
so,
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you'll have a fresh batch.
All right.
In a couple of days. The story behind BBL is fascinating. 3 separate businesses started doing some cooperative stuff, put it all together, said, hey, we're stronger together than we are apart. Bam, Boro Business Labs is born, very much the Reader's Digest version.
Yeah.
But what you wanted to talk about today is something that's a little bit near and dear to your heart, and you wanted to tell this story, you said.
Yeah. It actually is a great transition to Boro Business Lab because they're partners in this. We're doing this together. But the reason I'm here is it was born a lot out of a story of kind of what happened to me, and I'll be glad to tell that story. But I guess before I do, let me ask you this question because you told me you had kids. You have 2 kids?
2 kids, and then 2 stepkids.
Okay, and how old are all the kids?
So I've got a 16-year-old, and then so between me and my wife, we have a 16-year-old, and then a 10, 11, 12-year-old.
Have mercy.
Yeah.
It's nothing but hormones.
It is
all over the place.
epically awesome.
It actually is.
Yeah.
It actually is. And so being a dad comes with its joy and it comes with its pressure, right?
For sure.
So
You're going to get me misty. I already know.
What?
Dude, you have no idea. So it also comes with its own level of guilt when you're
Talk to me about it.
Building some businesses and you realize how much time you spent on that and you haven't spent on the kids. Ooh. That gets rough sometimes.
Man, I feel that. And I don't know a dad who doesn't feel at a certain level guilt and pressure. And I think men in general. I mean, I'm 47, so I still got, hopefully got old. Stop it. I've still got a good bit of life, hopefully, to live. And but so far, as I've interacted and had friendships with other men and been around men, and sorry, ladies, I'm not trying to leave you out, but in particular today, I wanted to just kind of talk about how we relate to one another, right? So I'm assuming you have dudes that are friends. It's my opinion. See what you think. Do you agree with me that mutual respect is the foundation of a friendship between men?
100%.
Like if I don't respect you, I'll be kind to you.
Sure.
But I'm not probably going to seek friendship with you.
Absolutely.
Is that fair? And maybe that's true for ladies as well. I don't know, but I know this, that men, we think a certain way. Respect is everything to us. We've kind of learned that from books like Love and Respect and all those different things. Respect is the way we feel valued. And one of the ways that we are told to be respectful, and we are told from early on, is to do 2 things as men. it's kind of whether we're actually told or we just pick up context clues from living life.
Sure.
We are to provide and to protect.
Yes.
Especially if we take on the role of husband and father. If we choose that role in our life, we are meant to provide and to protect.
Yeah.
And each one of those things has pressure. I mean, because Jonathan, you tell me you're feeling guilt. I tell you right back, you're just trying to provide. Right?
Yeah, but and then, yes, and that's where you start looking at just trying to provide versus selfish ambition, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a gray area in there, and it's real easy to kind of.
And
I can justify selfish ambition with I'm just trying to provide, and that's where the guilt comes in.
I have a lot of friends who use one as an excuse for the other, and that's what you're saying is the tension. The tension that I see tons of my friends feel as men is, and I'm guilty of this myself. And as I've gotten older, I've tried to do better. But I have so many amazing guys who literally isolate themselves, like won't even have another guy friend. Like a lot of guys, you talk to them and you say, who do you hang out with besides your family? They're like, I don't know. I just work and I come home and, eat dinner, grab a beer, watch some TV, maybe play with my kids. And then I go to bed and I wake up and I go to work and I do it all over again. So I go to work all day to provide, and then I come home to be with my family, and I'm there to provide, protect. And I just think that's fascinating. As a dad, one of the things that I have been guilty of, because I wanted so, Jonathan, you don't know, actually you do, because I saw it in your eyes just a second ago. I wanted to be a good dad. And what I wish I could do sometimes is just get a whole bunch of dudes together and we could just sit there and admit to one another that what is passion in our hearts, what we want, and how we're going about to go get it is not together. They're not congruent. Because most men I know, they're not confused about what they want. They want to be, I don't want to be a jackass dad.
Right.
I want to be a good husband. I want to be a good man. And I want all of these things. And I know men who would rather take a bullet for their family than go home and have to share their heart. It would be easier.
And that's another cultural norm, right? Is we're taught not to share our feelings. This kind of conversation is uncomfortable a lot of times, and God forbid I'd let something leak out of my eyeballs. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And so I think that if you really cook it down to the provide and protect thing, that is a chink in the armor of protecting. If I show weakness, I'm not as protectful. If that I don't even know if that's a word, but
no, it is as if we're supposed to be strong. But see, think about this. We do all kinds of things to avoid feeling stuff, and
certainly sharing feelings.
We obviously the obvious ones are alcohol and drugs to numb out,
right?
Ambition and selfish drive, which is really
it's another drug.
And also, it's something easier to control because when I'm at work and I'm the boss and I can order people around, I can wrap my mind around that. But how many men go to work and feel like a boss and they go home and they feel like an idiot? And they're like, wait a second, just 10 minutes ago, I was kind of awesome.
Yeah.
And I came home here and now I feel like I can't even say 2 words and get it right.
Yeah.
And so therefore you begin to avoid home.
That's supported by modern media. I mean, how many strong dad figures that aren't made to look idiots are there in any TV show now?
That's
none.
Exactly.
All the dads are goofballs.
Exactly. And the juxtaposition of all that is unbelievable to me through a lot of I am a believer in therapy. I don't mind at all sharing that. And through a lot of therapy, what I have learned is that the real strength is when we are willing to feel whatever is happening to us and not use something else to avoid that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So if you qualify that as what a real strong man is, we don't have a whole lot of them walking around.
That's a good point.
That are willing to just be sad, that are willing to just be angry, or that are willing to feel joy.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a lot of that going on. What we have is a lot of lonely, stressed out men who feel like they're imposters in their own home, who would rather hang out at work where they can order people around than go home where they have to face and actually share their heart.
And they have success. They see the fruits of their labors turn into something amazing at work.
Yeah.
Right?
Instant gratification.
And they may not see that at home.
No. And one of the ways that I talk about this is I would love somehow to like turn manhood upside down. And I have been taught in relationships with men that men value what happens in the boardroom and on the ball fields. That's what we talk about at the water cooler. That's who we respect. We respect the dudes who are great athletes, or you could substitute any other activity in there. Somebody who's excellent at whatever they are.
Woodworking or cars or whatever.
Exactly.
Right? Mm-hmm.
A man's man. They're the best at whatever it is they're doing it. Yeah. But for us, sports, not to overgeneralize, but we do worship the athlete a lot. And then in the boardroom, we just respect the guys who go get it, who go make that money, who go know what to, we're constantly inside ourselves going, why can't I do what they're doing?
Mm-hmm.
And the comparison stuff. Boardrooms and ball fields are a really crappy place to find your value. And I had to learn that in my own journey. Well, I learned it on the way to go get a vasectomy, or after I got a vasectomy, and you're like, "What the heck just happened here? This thing just turned."
I'm into this, but I have no idea where we're going with this. So
yeah,
I'm super excited.
I want to take you on a journey.
This
Come
is
with
a
me.
journey. I'm there. I'm there.
Come to my vasectomy with me.
Maybe not.
Okay,
but
all right.
Tom's out on that one too.
So I
Might
went
be great
to go,
content to film though.
probably not. You'd have to. Never mind. I'll keep the jokes out. I went to go get a vasectomy in 2016, and then afterwards, the doctor told me if you were feeling great pain, go to the hospital because something's wrong. Like he said, you're going to feel pain, but if it's massive, then you need to go get it checked out. Well, that night just so happened I woke up in massive pain. And so I was like, and I had the thought, as a guy does, protect and provide. I was like, I've paid my insurance deductibles. This shouldn't cost too much. I'm not going to bother my wife. I'm going to just drive myself. And I went to the hospital real quick to just get checked, maybe get some pain medicine or something.
Sure.
And so they scanned me while I was there. And sure enough, they came back to me in the Rutherford County Hospital down here. And they said, Mr. Lee, you're presenting to us as you have stage 4 lymphoma. And the funny part of this is, for me, it was like, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed on some of these terms. So I was like, lymphoma. Then it hit me. I was like, oh crap, are you saying I have cancer? Like, that wasn't even in my thought process.
Yeah. You're thinking, okay, some antibiotics or whatever, right?
Yeah. And they were like, we need to confirm, but that's what you're presenting. And so many steps happened after that. And my boys at the time were somewhere around 9-10 years old and 6-7 years old. I've got 2 sons. They're now a junior and freshman in high school, but at that time they were younger. And so the process then came on. They confirmed that I had cancer, and it was time to tell my boys, which was, it was one of the toughest deals to to explain to them, even though they really fully, truthfully, didn't understand what I was saying.
Yeah.
For me,
maybe very basic understanding, but
for me, going back to our previous conversation, what I felt like I was saying to them is, I can't provide for you, and I can't protect you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it felt like I was saying. And I felt such shame. I felt like such a freaking disappointment. I watch men kill themselves, literally kill themselves. We would rather die than to disappoint our families. Mm-hmm. And in the midst of that process, we end up sometimes disappointing them, is what I've learned. Mm-hmm. But I was striving and working and trying so hard. I just got done transitioning careers, and it was a crazy process. And my wife and I, we'd been working so hard on our marriage. It wasn't always the best. And we had done so much work in marriage therapy, and we finally got into a good spot. And now I was about to check out, So they say when you find out you're going to die, your life flashes before your eyes, right? Mm-hmm. But that is not what flashed before my eyes in that moment. It was all the moments I was about to miss. That's all I could think about. I remember my older son was a little basketball player, and I remember just thinking, I was like, God, can you just let me live long enough to see him play middle school ball? It's just a few more years. And I'm just sitting there in my hospital bed making deals with God. I just want to see. I don't need to be at their weddings, but can I at least see them through high school? And it's an interesting deal. And then added on top of that, and I'll say this: that's where I began to work in my heart about changing the kind of man I wanted to be. I understood at that moment all the striving, all the crap that I was killing myself to do to provide and protect. None of it mattered. Mm-hmm. My mentor came to my bedside, and this is the same man that helped me with this, and so I'll explain more about him later, but he came to my bedside, which was a huge gift. And one of the things he said to me was, he said, Jeremy, you have loved these boys more than most people ever get from a dad. And if you die today, they're going to be good men. And I just had to hold on to that. I just had to settle into that. And he said, God's got your family, and you're going to be okay. And so for a little while, that was good. I went ahead and did my treatment, did my chemo. And there's a period of time where you're kind of waiting between chemo, and you need to make it a certain amount of time. And during that period of time, just a mental note, if anybody's ever around somebody with cancer, I can give you this. Remission is just as terrifying as the actual treatment. Remission is terrifying. The battle is not in your body, the battle is in your mind. Because everything you feel, every tingle, and it was driving me crazy. Why was it driving me crazy? Because I can't die. I just made it through this. Now what can I do now? I can provide and I can protect. Please don't let this come back. Please. Mm-hmm. And then I went to my mentor and I said to him, I'm going crazy. Will you please help me? He said, help with what? And I said, will you help me prepare to die? I said, I know that is morbid, but I need help. I can't do this by myself, and I am going to go crazy. I need to at least know that I'm ready, because I didn't feel like I was at all. Mm-hmm. And Jonathan, he did. He walked me through a step-by-step process to prepare to die. And step one was how I felt about life after death. We spent a little while talking about that. Once I got that set and settled, the next part was logistics. And he said, I want you to create a folder. He said, let's do everything we can so that whoever, your wife, for me,
the funeral director or whatever,
let's do everything we can to make it as least stressful as possible. And I said, that makes a lot of sense. So it was actually calling my life insurance dude, who I had at that point, I was like, I don't even know. I knew I signed up for it a long time ago because that's what I was supposed to do. But he told me, no, yeah, we're good. I'll be at your house the next day with this check. I was like, are you going to take taxes out? No, I'm not. It was all like blah, blah, blah. Then writing down all the passwords, all the things. Step 1, do this. Step 2, do this. When it came time, like you said, plan the funeral. Here's who I want to be my pallbearers. If you want to play music, I like this song. This is where I would be okay being buried. All these different things. These are my opinions that I care about and the things I don't care about. So that she could freely plan it without having to think.
Right.
Third is he said, if you want, it would probably be a good idea to write letters or to make videos for your family so they can have a piece of you when you're gone. That everything else up to that point was not that tough. But when I got there, that was tough.
I mean, what do you say for the rest of their life?
Yeah.
Exactly.
The blank page was like a sledgehammer. It was like, what do you say in these moments?
Do you try to anticipate everything and a life guide? I mean, do you do that? How do you even approach that?
There you go. And therein lied the problem. Now I hammered through it and just did whatever I could. But Last Word Letters, which is the online tool we've created, it came from that, because every question you just said and more is what I realized. I was like, oh, this is a good thing to do, but it is not easy. And so we came up with a process. And this is what I learned. I said, there will be time for there to be a eulogy for me. These letters are not about that. So I'm not going to talk about me. I'm going to talk about them. And then the next thing is, like you said, I can't get too specific, but I want it to go along with the different emotions that they're going to feel. So,
did you listen to the Wear Sunscreen song, the Class of '99, or do you remember that?
No.
The Wear Sunscreen. You don't remember that?
No.
Okay, forget it.
I'm Spotifying that when I get in the car.
You need to check it out. Yes. Baz Luhrmann, I think, is the artist. I don't know why I remember that.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
The first letter is what's true about you.
Meaning the loved one.
So if you were writing these letters to your kids, because your kids, by the way, I know this to be true, your words weigh more in their heart than anyone else's words. And they are hardwired to believe that what you say about them is going to be the default setting of who they believe they are. All of us know that, and we understand how powerful that is for the good and the bad. I call it a parental superpower. All parents have it. We have the ability to bless and curse our children. And the moment in this letter is you basically are setting their identity. This is what I see that is true about you. So I wanted my boys and my wife to have something that if they ever doubted themselves, even while they were grieving, they could look at this letter, read it, and at least hear my voice. The next letter is on your worst day, on the day that they feel incredible sadness. Now, I don't know what would cause that worst day. Can't anticipate it. But I do know that on their worst day, there is a message of encouragement I'd like to give them. And so I wrote that out. Next one, on your best day. On the day when the cameras are coming out and when everybody's invited over and you wish that I could be there to celebrate with you. I may not be able to, but I can speak into that moment. So this is what's so beautiful for me. My mentor gave me this gift of writing these letters, and now I understand the power of them, because I can't guarantee, nor can you guarantee, that you're going to be a part of all of the moments in your kids' lives, in your wife's life. But you can guarantee that you can speak into those moments by doing the letters. And for me, that's what goes past provide and protect. And it's more about giving your heart. When we did Last Word Letters, we started talking about estate planning. And we were like, think about the way we prepare for death. We go to a lawyer, we sign up a legal document. That's what, as men, we've been taught. That's the responsible way to provide and protect for our family.
Right.
Let's arrange everything. Let's get a trust. Let's do this and do that. All this is good. I understand now. It's become more of a businessman that this is important. But but as I started to work on this, I realized there's so much more to it to prepare. If you really want to prepare for death, don't just figure out how to give your stuff. Figure out how to share your heart. That's the key. And so, what's true about you on your worst day, on your best day, and then the fourth one is when you've made a huge mistake, which is ultimately when you're feeling shame, right? When you've made a huge mistake, because not if, but when. Mm-hmm. Here's some of the mistakes I've made. Here's how I've learned from it. And just want you to know, if I could be next to you on the time where you blew it big time, and nobody is on your side, and you just wish you could pick up the phone and call me, you may not be able to. Open this letter. Mm-hmm. Final one of the more challenging ones for me. You're easy to love, which is my journey may end. That does not mean yours ends. You do me no gift of loyalty or love by denying others who would come into your life and want to love you. You are easy to love. You are a joy to love. You don't need my permission, but take my encouragement. If someone else comes in your life that is a father figure to you that you trust, or to my wife, if you find love again, please, please, please enjoy it. Mm. So those are the letters. And with the tool, we help you write those letters. We use like Mad Lib templates. And people are able to just kind of write the letters, put their... This is intended for dads. It's... Anybody can use it. But I created this for the young dad who really wants to be a good dad. And ultimately, they're in a situation like I was in. I was 41 years old when this happened. Mm. And I was like, I'm about to miss it all. These letters help me know that I could at least be there for some of it in some way. Mm-hmm. I think every young dad should do something like this. So I need to cough for a second.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think that's technically what the red button is for.
Dang it. It's not an ejector seat?
It's not an ejector seat. I don't think so. Is that right, Tom? It is not an ejector seat.
It is if I want it to be.
Oh, I see.
I am not pressing it, just in case. But no, that's... that's what we've created.
All right, so full disclosure here. I thought we were going to get together and cut up, and you freaking walk in with this stuff, dude.
I'm the fun guy.
Yeah, not anymore. Josh, I think I just figured you out, bud. No, I mean, that is so strong, so powerful. And you don't know a whole lot of my story, but it really, there is a particular part of my story that speaks to more than you could possibly know. So, that's best shared over a coffee or a beer. But anyway, so how does somebody find this? First of all,
it's lastwordletters.com, and we have created for Trent and the Spread the Positive Network. Mm-hmm. There's a 20% coupon code STP. So when you purchase it, you can put in STP and get 20% off. Let's speak to the money part of it. It's $99 to use the tool. What we did was we looked up how much it costs to prepare a will. And it was between, how much do you think it would be to What's the average cost?
I'm going to say $500 to $1,000.
You nailed it was 300 to 1,000. Yeah. And so we said, hey, let's price it like this is a upgrade type thing. So it was $99. And you can write as many letters as you want. Write them for your kids, your wife. Use the templates. And there's videos to guide you through the process. And so the STP code gets you 20% off of that. And really because we just want to get this in the hands of as many people as possible.
Sure.
Nobody's trying to get rich here. And it's a tool to help. This is the thing that I wanted to make sure to share. But my mentor, he said to me when we got done with everything, I thanked him, and he said, listen, Jeremy, he said, the only difference between you and every other man out there is that you had some idea of what might happen to you. So it's more urgent to you. But every man needs to prepare to die. And the gift that I always tell people, this is the most morbid thing I think I've ever done. Who wants to talk about dying? Nobody.
Sure. Especially plan it, right?
I told my partners, I was like, we have to get on podcasts and at least let me try to explain, because nobody is going to want to pay attention to this, because we're like poking the place that they don't want to think about.
Sure.
But it's the exact different. I want to give a gift, because this is what I know. When I had it all set in place, when I understood what I believed about life after death, when the logistics were set, and when the letters were written, there is a freedom that comes. It's not like I'm looking to go hand gliding or bungee jumping and trying to die, but there's just a peace in my heart that says, I'm ready. If something happened, I at least know that I'm ready. Mm-hmm. And that my family is in the best possible position I could put them in. Mm-hmm. And that lets me walk with so much freedom. It's the whole, what's the Braveheart quote? Not every man dies, not every man really lives. I would change it to, when you're ready to die, you're free to live. Mm. And that's where it's at. I think I'll stop jabbering after this, because I could talk about this literally all day. For me, when you met your wife for the first time, that was a first impression, right? You don't really get a chance to make a first impression with your kids because they just get used to you.
Right.
They grow up and like you're just there by the time they can start remembering. But everybody makes a first impression and a last impression. We don't remember so much what happens in between, but we really remember the first and the last. Well, what I'm trying to help people do is make an incredible last impression on their family, on the people that they love the most.
This is a true legacy.
Yeah.
Like, this is a legacy beyond a piece of real estate or somebody's car or whatever, right? A bank account.
Exactly. You feel, we all know what it's like. Speaking to the dad piece of this, we know what it's like when you know the power of the blessing of a parent, because you either got it or didn't get it. Either way, you know the power of it. Mm-hmm. You know what it's like to not have it, or you know what it's like, the freedom, the unleash, how you feel unleashed to the world when you do have it. This is the gift. And I'd rather give this, truthfully, I will be giving this more than millions of dollars. My kids, don't get your hopes up, boys. But my boys are not going to go through life wondering how I felt about them. Mm. And they're not going to go through life without at least having a word from me in the moments where it matters. And, and then I'll just keep working with you to make the millions. You keep teaching me how to buy houses and become a real estate tycoon.
Oh, man, this is so good, Jeremy.
Thank you, Jonathan. It means a lot.
This is not at all what I anticipated for today's conversation. Like, it's not even close.
Good. I'm hoping in a good way.
Oh, in a fantastic way. And,
I freaking love that Trent didn't tell you anything so that you could just be surprised.
Nothing.
This is
not
great.
A thing. So, Michelle and Trent scheduled this, and anyway, so I'll tell you, and this is just how I'm wired. Like, I think of a couple of friends that could have used this, that should have used this. Mm-hmm. I have one friend in particular, similar story, only he didn't make it, and similar age, similar. And when I finally accepted that he wasn't going to make it, okay, here how I said that. I got a friend of mine to try to record some stuff. I got some stuff on a tape recorder. We were going to try to record some things and get some stuff, down, some questions. What do you tell your boys about this? What do you want to tell your boys about this? And we didn't get a lot. It was too late, unfortunately. And so now his legacy for them is in the hands of everybody that knew him that could speculate on what he would say about
what he
that.
might say. It's good.
And there's some pieces and parts and some things, and there's some ways to do that, but you have an overall impression rather than specific examples.
Wow.
And that's,
I'm going to quote you on that.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's a tough way. And for everybody that knew him, the overall impression is phenomenal, right? And but because you don't have the specifics, it's not as helpful, perhaps. And I can even see it in some ways becoming something that the boys try to live up to.
That's right.
Rather than an encouragement along the way.
Because it's about him and not about them. So if it could be him speaking to them, it shifts the whole energy of the process. Mm-hmm. But when you don't get that scenario set up correctly, yes, then it becomes, oh my goodness, I have to live up to this.
I have these shoes to fill.
Yeah. So now not only do I grieve, I feel pressure.
Yeah.
When if I could just have heard the exact opposite of, you don't need to be anything but you.
It's good stuff.
Man, thank you. Thanks for letting me be here. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, look at the time. No, I mean, that's great. So, lastwordletters.com, go check it out. Promo code STP.
Yep.
For Spread the Positive, STP. Get a couple bucks off, but I mean, I think it's worth probably every penny, even if you don't take the promo code on there. And then, so you got anything else? I mean, I don't know that there's really anything else.
Well, we got a lot of fun stuff going on. I'll have to come back another time, though, to tell you about that.
For sure. I think we'd leave it with this. Hey, if you need anything marketing-wise, call Boro Business Labs. Definitely spend some time looking at this last word letters. Guys, and I guess my thing is, this is a great tool.
Yeah, but it's
right?
not. Yeah,
but even if you don't do this,
do something.
Think about everything that's just been said, and do something.
Yeah,
do something.
That's it.
So, if you need help with real estate, give me a call. If you need help with mortgages, call Brian Nail. And if you have a story to tell, let me or Tom or Trent or Michelle let us know, and you can get on here and I'll go through another hanky. So, anyway, there's that. Appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for everything you do in our community, and thanks for this amazing tool and the story as well. So, if you were moved, share this,
please,
and let's get the word out. So, one more time, lastwordletters.com, STP code on there, and take care of that business.
That's right.
All right. Appreciate you, man. Y'all have a good rest of the week. Talk to you soon.